Hey, this is Amazin React, reacting to a brand new video on my channel. Today's video is called My Hero Academia Season 1 through 6 Recap in 7 minutes. So, obviously, I'm a huge My Hero Academia fan. I think it's an amazing anime. Now, I wasn't too sure about it at first. It was a couple of times where I started it, stopped it, and then I started it, stopped it again before I actually finished it. I just recently finished the whole season, the whole final episode. So I'm finishing that, and it's the story is still fresh on my mind. So I want to make a video just going over it with you guys. So let's go.
My Hero Academia Season 1 through 6 recapped in under 7 minutes. In a world where 80% of the population has quirks, we meet Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku.
Oh, sorry. And I'll try not to stop it as much. But one thing I do want to point out, season one, when it first came out, I remember watching it when it first came out. I did drop it. But when it first came out, I thought the premise behind the whole superhero thing, I thought it was good because it was at the time when Marvel was at its peak. So like superhero content was like everywhere. So to have this type of anime bringing that Western style of like superheroes and stuff, bringing it into an anime, I thought that was really good, and that's one of the things that got me hooked on this. But yeah,
Who has none? Izuku gets attacked by a villain and is miraculously saved by the number one hero, All Might. Then Izuku accidentally learns All Might's
shout out to All
and
Might.
is quickly told to give up on being a hero, which is immediately reversed upon witnessing Izuku bravely save a childhood friend and bully Bakugo. Training montage, mouthful of hair, and an ninja exam later.
Now, one thing I will say, when it came, like I dropped this anime after like the first 3 episodes, maybe like the first 3 or 4. It was before he got his powers. Because in the beginning I had seen One Punch Man first, and I thought this was gonna be one of those situations where I thought it was gonna be like from the point of view of like Moomin Rider. Like I thought that's what Deku was gonna be. He wasn't gonna be like a superhero, but he was gonna be able to help out and stuff like. And I was kind of like, I don't want to see him as a main character because I thought he wasn't gonna get any powers. I didn't catch on that eventually he was gonna get powers. So I just thought it was one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I was kind of off it from the first 3 episodes. I eventually went back and finished it. Of course, I finished the whole thing, but yeah, starting off, I did drop it after the first couple of episodes because one, he was crying a lot, and two, I just thought it was gonna be from a perspective of someone who didn't have powers, and that really just wasn't what I was in the mood to watch at the time. But end up, all my assumptions were wrong.
Who's now the new proud owner of One For All and a student of UA High, the number one hero school. Deku meets his classmates and best teacher, Aizawa. Quick quirk test and costume change, then we go right into some heroes versus villains roleplay or training exercises, as they call it. Deku puts Bakugo in his place for the first time. Ida and Momo.
Now, I will say about Deku, I mean not Deku, but about Bakugo. A lot of people act like they love Bakugo from the beginning. I am not one of those people. Like him and Deku, like they swap between who my favorite characters. But initially starting off, I hated Bakugo. I ain't gonna say I hate him. I just thought he was like I don't know. It was just loud and did too much. I did not like Bakugo starting out. I know it's gonna be some people that's like, no, Bakugo. I understood his character from the beginning. No, he was meant to be annoying until he got the character development that kind of made you understand the way he was. And I'll get into that a little bit later too. But yeah, Bakugo, I was not a fan of his starting off.
Become class president and vice president, field trip training exercise. Except this time, the evil League of Villains invades with their leader Shigaraki, whose one and only goal is to kill All Might. The students are forced to defend themselves, and when all hope seems lost, All Might appears. All Might goes plus Ultra, destroys a Nobu. Shigaraki.
Now I will say this: when this, I love this fight between All Might and the Nomu. I thought that was an amazing fight. But even the villains pull out. I didn't know how much I would like the villains uh in this show. But now in hindsight, looking back on it, I think this was a good introduction into the villains. It wasn't like a slow like build up to the villains. It was just like one episode they came and then you see this way. It kind of changed the dynamic of the show, and that's something that's good, especially for like season one, because it kind of give you it's not gonna be like this friendly like rivalry type of anime. Like when the villain showed up, it kind of showed that yes, it does get super serious in this anime.
He is shot in the leg because why not, and is forced to retreat. And it turns out Shigaraki might not be the leader after all. Season 2, Sports Festival time, the whole school is involved. Class 1A dominates round 1, Todoroki wins cavalry round, then it's 1v1 time. Shinzo mind controls Deku. Todoroki has a dark past and was abused by his father, aka number 2 hero Endeavor. We find
And also, when it comes to tournament arcs, I feel like this was amazing. The tournament arc style in this show, it didn't last super long, which normally anime extend tournaments, but and that's a good thing. It's hit or miss. I like it when sometimes when it's extended, and then I like it sometimes when it was like this one because they got to the main points, and it also got a lot of character development. Even some with Bakugo, which this wasn't enough to sell me on Bakugo. At this moment, I was still wasn't sold on Bakugo. I could tolerate him for a little bit, but I wasn't sold on him. Todoroki though, he was good. This did wonders for his character development and just give you a background of him and his relationship with Endeavor. But overall, I love the tournament arc. Deku, his fighting style, breaking his fingers to shoot off those 100% one for all blasts. But yeah, I enjoyed the tournament arc.
Right now, Bakugo has a heart. Deku vs. Todoroki happens, which chef's kiss.
Yeah, it
And
was.
Bakugo's crowned the victor gets his own will. Quick five check as Ida finds out his brother's been permanently paralyzed by hero killer Stain. The kids pick their hero names and then it's internship time. Bakugo beats Best Genius, Todoroki trains with his dad, and Deku trains with All Might's old mentor Gran Torino, where he learns full Calling. The League of Villains has a welcome group known to Stain. Ida challenges Stain to a 1v1 where he probably gets his ass beat. Deku and Todoroki arrive and Stain is defeated. A note.
Now, one thing I will say about Stain, like Stain is not high up on my like now as My Hero Academia villains. Yes, he's high up, but it's like villains overall. I've never had Stain like ranked that high. I know a lot of people like his character. A part of me just kind of didn't understand exactly what Stain was trying to get to, because Stain felt like he was against the hero society, but it just didn't make sense to me. Only because I'm like, if you're against the hero society and you out killing heroes, it's like, yo, wait till you find out what a villain is. Like, you would think he would start killing villains more than heroes because they are like, because he wants to like model hero like All Might, but then you go out and you take it out on heroes instead of like punishing. Like, I can see if they were stopping him from killing villains, and I would understand him a little bit more. But like his gripe against Hero Society with villains out there, it didn't make any sense to me. That's why I was never like on board with like saying this being like, because a lot of people love him. They're like, oh, he's an anti-hero. Not but they like, to me he was a straight up villain. But I mean, he's near and dear to a lot of people as far as like anti-heroes, and people love him and stuff. And I get if you like the character, I like the character too. But I still just didn't understand his point of view.
Nobu flies away with Deku, causing Saint's heart to grow 3 times bigger that day as he saves Deku and is rearrested. Following that, we get the origin of One for All and All for One, and then on to the final exams where the students must best their own teachers. Deku and Bakugo take on All Might and are forced to work together for the first time ever. We get the first appearance of Dabi Toga and Shigaraki.
Now, I will say this: when Bakugo and Midoriya teamed up, this is when I started to understand Bakugo's character a little bit more, and he started like moving up, because you saw then like he's always had battle prowess, so that was never like the thing that was his problem. But to see it like unfold, it's just like his dynamic with Deku was really the thing that make him kind of annoying. So once you get past that, you're like, yo, Bakugo really is the man. Like, he really was. Like, he won the sports festival. He even got accepted in the UA, which is like the top hero school. And you start to understand his character a little bit more. What drives him more than anything is just he has this obsessive need to constantly win, and then it could kind of off put some people. And I kind of understood his character a little bit more. So at this point, Bakugo was rising, like the titles that they do for episodes.
Shigaraki pays a little visit to Deku. Season 3. On to training camp. Inner kid who hates heroes and inner league of villains who also hates heroes. Villains attack the students. Deku rescues the kid from earlier by going 1 million.
Now, this battle right here, it represents a lot, and this is why Deku is like a great main character. One of the reasons why is because in this scenario, the right thing for him to do was to run away with I believe the kid name was Tota, was to run away and find a hero to help him. But because he was in a situation he couldn't run, like he knew the right thing to do. And even in the episode, you can see him going through the scenarios like, can I call somebody? And he was like, no, my phone's broke. If I run, if I turn my back to him, he could take me out. So it's like he knew everything to do, but sometimes you're put in a position where your back is just against the wall. And for Deku, he knew what to do whenever his back was against the wall, because he had a prior model, All Might. He saw what to do, because All Might back against the wall where he couldn't get away from the Nomu, he had to just go plus ultra, which is just go above and beyond to rescue someone. Sometimes that's what you have to do. And Deku, having that as a model, he did the exact same thing when he says 1,000,000%, which I don't think he really went 1,000,000%. I think that was just him telling himself he has to push his limits and go further, or plus ultra.
Percent. And in the ensuing commotion, Bakugo gets kidnapped. Media backlash from the incident forces UA to confront the fact they might have a mole. The search for Bakugo commences as some of the students sneak out to find him. Meanwhile, the League of Villains attempt to recruit Bakugo, who gives them a prompt.
Now, this part is when I say I knew Bakugo was just like, I was a fan of Bakugo at this point. Even before his answer, I knew based on this, like, his character development so far, I knew he was not gonna join them. I was like, that's the wrong way. Out of all the kids, he was the last one that you were just gonna convince like that to join their team. So I already knew what his answer was gonna be before he even answered it. While it's prior, like at the start of the season, I thought like, he's definitely becoming a villain. But now, after getting to know him at this point, I knew he wasn't gonna be going with what Shigaraki was trying to sell.
Fuck you as he begins wrecking the place.
Yeah.
It appears they'll fall short when All For One transfers Bakugo and the lead to his location. All Might reappears and Deku's group gets Bakugo out of there, thus letting All Might
I love this
leading
moment.
to the best fight of the series so far. What?
Now, best fight of the series so far. This was a good fight, but I still put uh All Might's fight over All Might's fight versus the Nomu. I put that over this. I still think that's the best fight so far. I did enjoy this fight, and I love the scene of them saving Bakugo. But I do enjoy Nomu versus All Might better than this one.
One United States of Smash later, All Might Seekers revealed
This one had emotional significance, but nah.
world and he passes on the torch. The students then moved on to UA campus and the provisional hero license exams begin. Everyone hates UA, Toga sneaks in to muck things up, Todoroki and Bakugo fail, but hey, everyone else makes it, congrats. The League of Villains meet Overhaul, Bakugo and Deku squash the beef in the new best fight of the series, and it ends with Bakugo learning the secret.
Yeah, I would say this fight. No, I think from an emotional standpoint, for me, this fight probably was stood out a lot more than the All Might versus All For One. But this is what jumped Bakugo up to number one for me. Now, I mean, he keep it, I switch between Deku and Bakugo, and that's how it is for the rest of the seasons. I switch between those two, but this one put because it showed that Bakugo is just someone who, like him, their relationship is just they can only express themselves through fighting or arguing. I know it sounds kind of toxic, but the way he is just constantly, like, he wants to win so much that sometimes it takes over his personality, and that's why Bakugo is as aggressive as it is. And I really feel like it hits home. Like growing up, you meet a lot of kids that are similar to Bakugo as far as like the uh wanting to do good so much though that it kind of makes their attitude kind of arrogant and kind of make them a bit aggressive. And while it's in real life, people kind of like write those kids off and everything like that. I was glad they show a perspective where you can actually hone that kid into becoming someone better. So I did like that part in W Bakugo.
Secret of One for All. Last week's class when he meets the big three, and
Shout
Lamilli
out to the million.
just their difference in power. I'm talking about his season 4. The League of Villains tries to recruit Overhaul but fails. Deku begins working with All Might's former sidekick Night Eye, who had a falling out after using his quirk to predict All Might's.
Now I wasn't a fan of Night Owl like that. When he died, spoiler alert, hopefully you've seen all of this if you're watching this video. But spoiler alert, I wasn't a fan of Night Owl. Like when he died, I was just kind of like, okay, I wasn't emotionally invested in his character. But it meant a lot to the million. But for me, I was just like, eh. I like his quirk though. It was cool.
Dad. Deku, Mirio meet Overhaul and Eri. Night Eye recruits other heroes to help take down Overhaul and discuss the quirk erasing bullets. The assault on the compound begins. Sunny in 1v3s, Kirishima attacked on 2v2, and Lamillion goes around fucking up everybody. We get a PowerPoint of Lamillion versus Overhaul, ending with Lamillion taking a quirk erasing bullet for Eri. Deku and Night Eye arrive.
Now, this fight is probably my favorite fight of the series up until season 6. Now, season 6 and 7, it's so many fights that were good in that one, so I don't really count those. But up until this point, I would put Lemillion versus Overhaul as like the top fight, and then All Might versus the Nomu after that. For me personally, that's what I feel like. Lemillion did amazing. It showed like his quirk. I wasn't too much set on his quirk at the beginning, but it really showed that like with training, you can make anything powerful. But I did love this fight.
I'm Nana gets impaled, and Eren chooses to believe in Deku, leading to the magnificent sky battle that is Deku and
I
Eren
didn't like
versus
this
Overhaul.
battle as
Deku just
much.
defeat the
I thought
League
it was
villains,
okay,
using
but
Vincent to Overhaul and removes
people
both his arms
overhyped
free of
it.
charge. We get a very sad goodbye to Night Eye, and one day face session later, Bakugo and Todoroki begin their special provisional hero license course. Eren Torino captures Gary and is introduced to Gigantomachia. After two outstanding villains and one banger song, the new top heroes are announced. Shout out to Best Girl Mirko. Endeavor and Hawks' dinner date is interrupted by
Yeah, shout out to
Endeavor
Mirko.
goes plus ultra, solidifying his new spot as the number one hero, and the season ends with a peek at the ghost of One For All's past. Season 5, you thought we were done with the Nomu fight? Nope, Dabi appears, but Best Girl Mirko saves the day.
Yeah.
This is One For All flashback. The original users were forced to carry One For All by his big brother All for one class versus class arc, easily the worst arc in the show. Shinzo's
Oh,
convenience.
nah, I disagree with that take. This arc was good. Like this, if anything, the worst arc for me, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people felt this way. The worst arc for me was right after the overhaul fight. After that overhaul fight, when they went into the like, if they would have did like two or three episodes, maybe of like them getting ready for the concert and doing that little event at the festival. They did like two or three episodes. I don't know if in the manga if it went that long and maybe it did, but it felt like the whole second half was the festival, which that ruined it. I think that's when I took another break. Like after that festival, I wasn't as excited for the next season because I feel like they just wasted time with that long festival arc, and I didn't like what was his name, like Gentle Criminal or whatever his name was. I didn't like that either. I thought like he grew on me because of what he did in season 6, and so it kind of grew. He kind of grew on me as a like a character, but like to have an arc based off of that, I thought that was so stupid. I thought that was really like that downgraded the show a little bit for me. So when the next season started, I wasn't invested, and maybe that's why he probably think that this season was the worst. Is because of that. And when you go on to the next season, it just kind of leave a bad taste in your mouth. But this art was great. I love the story. Like if you're gonna do something that involves the school and not villains, I feel like this is the route to go. Like where they're competing against each other, you're seeing them evolve with their quirks, and you're seeing different combinations of students interact with each other.
Transfer hero cards. Tokigami can fly. Bakugo can team play now. Deku goes Spider-Man with a new black whip ability. And Solu got 6 more powers. Deku.
Now, this right here kind of threw me off though. Because at some point, Deku getting all these powers, I'm like, listen, at some point, you are for one. Like, how you getting all these powers? And it kind of felt like they threw it in there right when like because All Might didn't have all these abilities, and it's like, well, why did All Might not have it and you did? Which they kind of explained it later on, but at first I really wasn't too thrilled about it because I felt like he had enough with just that one power up quirk. Like everybody else got one, and I feel like I just feel like he was a character that just needed one, and he was gonna find a way to make it happen. Now the actual quirks that he ends up getting, I did hear that the author of My Hero was like a huge Star Wars, Spider-Man, Superman. That was like his favorite characters. So he kind of implemented quirks into Deku that kind of represent their stuff. Not the Star Wars part, but the Black Whip you see is Spider-Man, the Danger Sense, and stuff like that. He implemented because he was a fan of Superman and Spider-Man.
Can't use Black Whip after fight. Bakugo and Todoroki officially get hero license. Hawks is an undercover agent, kills best genius.
Shout out to Hawks.
Dabi. Deku, Todoroki, and Bakugo hero study with Endeavor. Hawks passes a secret message to Endeavor. The Meta Liberation Army will attack in 4 months to prepare the children, or something like that. It sounds very Harry Potter. Todoroki family dinner time, plus Deku and Bakugo. Shinkazaki sucks, not so strong off. Endeavor prays for Shrine of Young Toya. On the way home, Endeavor and the UA kids get attacked by a villain fanboy who has Natsuo hostage. Deku uses Black Whip successfully. Shoto convinces his attack. Bakugo convinces his attack. I saw when President Mike find out Kurogiri is the childhood friend turned Nova, which is expanded upon in My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Please read it. League of Villains arc now. We go 2 months back. The doctor we seen helping All for One tell Shigaraki, you make sure I got the mock yesterday. League gets an invite to Deku City to save their mutual association here. The plan is to walk into the trap set of the Meta Liberation Army.
Now, this arc, I thought this arc was good, and this good a follow up arc because if you're gonna do something to kind of build the story and not have the heroes involved, I'm glad they centered it around Shigaraki. Like this bumped him up. Like as far as villains go, I would say my number one villain gonna always be Aizen because I love Bleach and Aizen. He was probably the best villain that I've ever witnessed in anime. Some people say Madara. I haven't seen enough because I never finished watching um Naruto, but I've seen a lot of clips of it, like his philosophy. I saw a lot of clips. I saw probably all of his battles because I would just watch the anime fights on the internet. And although I think he always lost to the guy that does the wood stuff, so he could never, he would never, you know, like he never topped Eisen for me. But one thing I didn't get a full grasp of who Madara was, but Eisen always number one. Uh, Now, personnel, a close number two would be Aaron, and I know people think that Aaron is the hero, but I think Aaron is the villain, and sometimes in people's eyes that could be the hero of the story too. So I always put Aaron, like Aaron and Eisen, they up there as far as like 1A, 1B, as far as like who is my favorite villain. But Shigaraki, he moved up there with his development this episode because at first he was just really just a crybaby, and he just wanted to break stuff. So he was kind of annoying as a villain, but you'll take it. But right here, it showed that he could one uh get a power up, and two, he could become like a boss of the villains. Like whereas he was kind of feeling like an ungrateful, arrogant child that was just given all these bad guys to work with, and even then he couldn't get it done. Whereas now it seems like he's organizing and he was making boss moves in order to become like a super villain. But I did enjoy his character development. This moved him up a lot.
And just wait for Gigantomachia to wake up. Seems good. Evil's children power up time. Toga learns to copy a person's quirk.
Yeah,
As
basically.
Shigaraki can now decay somebody without touching them directly. Twice learns to create infinite copies of himself just to save his friend Toga. The leader of Deathstroke returns fast and strength. We get a Shigaraki flashback. Shigaraki's dad hated years because of his mom, Nana Shimura, which is All Might's master. Shigaraki gets beat and outside crying with his dog. Shigaraki's quirk then manifests. He kills his dog, sister, mom, accidentally, and his dad on purpose. And then he's found by Alpha One and given his new name, Shigaraki. Flash forward, he takes off the hands which previously which were his family's. Thus giving Shigaraki an even greater power boost, making Redestro the Meta Liberation Army bow down.
I like Redestro too.
Paranormal Liberation Front. Oh, and Gigantomachia witnessed this as well, and he was like, yeah, okay, me too. Back to the Doctor now offers help. For months, Shigaraki will be out of commission, but after he will be stronger than even All For One. Ares warned her, Deku needs to learn to float next, which the court of All Might's master and Shigaraki's grandma. As always tells All Might, his meeting with Stain will have to wait, and we're left with one tease. The major incident that will shake superhuman society will finally begin. Season 6, Hero vs. Villain Wartime.
Season 6.
Shigaraki's revived for completion.
Miracle.
Still fights back.
She did her
Alex
thing.
gets his cave full. And Gigantomachia is awake and ruins quite a lot of good architecture. Shigaraki now has All For One and is naturally All Might strength. Midnight gets a rock thrown at her and dies. Grand Truth
R.I.P. Rest in peace.
racing bullet click right into his leg. He has to cut that shit off.
Now that's the one thing I do like. When he got hit by that bullet, Aizawa didn't waste no time. He just cut the leg off. He thought of the most practical thing to do in that situation. He thought like that. I love that that he just cut his leg off and was like, let's keep on pushing. Another thing is in this fight, once Deku kind of like locked in, once I think Bakugo got stabbed. One thing I will say about Deku, like a lot of people don't like him because of like I really think it was kind of like memes because he did cry a lot in the beginning, but he didn't really start crying like that. Like after like the first few episodes, he really wasn't a cry like that. But people kind of thought he was soft. One thing I will say, I've never seen Deku not beat the crap out of a villain. Even if he's trying to get them to see the error of their ways, he gonna beat them up first. He lived by the fist. Like even in this fight when he was fighting Shigaraki, even though Shigaraki was nerfed because Aizawa was taking away his quirks and stuff, Deku was beating that man, and it was like this is what Shigaraki need. Like he needs somebody to just really beat the crap out of him, and Deku was giving it to him this whole fight. But yeah, I did like that about Deku's character.
Bakugo saves Deku from being stabbed, which is
Oh
so.
yeah, there it is.
Does his dance reveals Endeavor, Shoto, and the world.
When it comes to this reveal, I don't think it was the actual reveal to me. I kind of figured out that's what they were setting this up. I just kind of wanted them to hurry up and get it over with, but I already knew like this is where they were going. This was the route they were going. It was obvious.
Using Skeptic, his childhood will use it, and then he's the firstborn son, Toya Todoroki. Best Genius returns and ties everyone up. Lemillion is back, baby. Bakugo
Shout out to Lemillion.
Explosion, murder, god, dynamite. Compressed sacrifices himself to allow his ability friends to escape. Shigaraki escapes, but Deku feels kind of bad for him. Compressed, Dr. Draki, and Gigantomachia are all left to be arrested, but that's not all. All is now controlling the body of Shigaraki and waltzes him and the remaining Novas over to.
And this part right here, even with normally something like this, like Alpha One controlling Shigaraki's body, normally this would throw me off to like where I'm like, oh well, Alpha One is moving up on the villain radar, which Alpha One, kind of sorta, but even then, I really still like Shigaraki's growth and development. Like I'm glad it ended the way it did in season 7. Uh, Again, if it's not spoiler, you guys already should watch the show if you're watching this video. But I did like that he fought even All For One. Like he was like, "No, I'm doing this my way, not because you want to do it. This is the villain that I am." And I thought that at that point, his version of why he was doing it was even better than All For One's. Was like way better than All For One's because All For One, if anything, he was taking Shigaraki's spot because All For One just seemed like an ungrateful child. Like he just seemed like an ungrateful man child. Where Shigaraki was looking at society and was like, no, I want to destroy all of it. So at this point, I still was team Shigaraki. As far as like villains, I don't like villains like that, but I'm saying like who was a better villain? It was Shigaraki to me.
Starters, the Freeze main body, past villains, and some future villains. In the hospital now, Deku has a conversation with the past wielders. Turns out the one for all quirk unleashes the life force of wielders who already had quirks, and considering the lack of people without them, Deku is probably the last wielder. The whole Todoroki family, Mama Blue, shows their support for Endeavor, and Deku needs to go vigilante. Deku immediately sends Muscular right back to jail, meets him.
I love the vigilante art.
And the mentally broken overhaul. Lady Gon in classic shonen fashion has a change of heart, but surprise, gets exploited by all for one because he's such a classic.
I still don't understand how she survived.
But still, she's alive, believe it or not. Overhaul process.
No, I
They you can see boss again. Who knows if this comes into play? All for one goes to a mansion. This is a All Might reference. Secondly, CP's one for all, and it's going for first. I 100% without backlash now. And use that newfound power to tell All Might to fuck off. Deku collapses from overworking, saved by his old classmates. Deku attempts to escape the Sherman friendship help, but is stopped. Which completely to the civilians hiding in UA to let Deku stay there for the day. Stay in stocks with All Might, leaves him with a pet talk and a daily distance hard race. It turns out Shigaraki's body will be completed in 3 days. None of the outside world wants to send their heroes to help preempt, except for America, baby. Star and Stripe, the number one hero.
USA, America.
Fighter jets, America, baby.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
My hair again.
Now, when it comes to that, it was a lot on that last part, but the last part, that last arc, the vigilante arc, I did like it. I thought, if anything, that ended a little bit too soon. Cause like even when they got him back to the side, I was like, all right, Deku, you was a vigilante for a whole. I don't know how long it was actually in the story time, but for me, it was like you was a vigilante for like a whole 2 episodes. Relax. But overall, I did like that for his character development and just something that's showing you a different side of him on what can happen if Hero Society came crumbling down. You would see more vigilantes because you wouldn't have as much order. So I like that that's the route they went with his character, and then they got him back on track. But overall, I love My Hero Academia. 9 out of 10. I enjoy it. Only 10 out of 10 I've ever gave an anime is, of course, Attack on Titan. But if you enjoy content like this, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.